there's a much bigger threat to the men in blue. That's him! Kill the bastard with the video camera! Get him!
Hey guys, how's it going? Rogue Nation here with you. And we are going to be going over a video today that Ordinary County told me about. He said the level of ignorance here is off the chart, so I wanted to check it out and give my opinion on some stuff. Definitely at the end I'll have some more to add, so let's get right into watching it, guys, and we'll go from there.
I thought you were somebody else. But now I know who you are.
Now you know who I am.
Weird. How you doing?
Famous. Chief of Police, can I get your name?
Bob Kleins.
Bob Kleins. Can you tell me the 5 elements of the First Amendment?
5 elements of the First Amendment.
Yeah. The United States Constitution. Hey, Captain, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Do you know the 5 elements of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution? Do you know all 5 elements? First Amendment of the United States Constitution. The First Amendment, what are the 5 elements of the United States Constitution?
Oh my God, I just read it and I can't remember right now.
United States Constitution, the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Do you know the 5 elements?
Listen, y'all, these kids want to act up in school, want to go to school and embarrass you, want to make like they got no home training. So I told my son, don't go to school embarrassing no more. I'll take care of you, son. I give you anything you want. I discipline you. But you're going to embarrass me like this? No, so now I'm going to cut his hair.
Oh, I gotta ask you.
Keep It Quilted means you keep it the best. Keep It Quilted means comfort that feels good and does.
Can you do me a favor? Wait, come on, guys. Now I saw you were in a restricted area. Now I want your identification.
You're not getting it.
Don't embarrass me. I told him, don't embarrass me. No.
Alright, Erie County fam, back at it again. Today, we're at the Canal Fest in the city of Tonawanda, and we're going to ask the law enforcement the tough questions, whether they know the Constitution that they swore an oath to. Let's get at it, fam. Must be famous.
What's your first name again?
My first name?
Oh, no, you're that guy. Never mind. How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Good. I thought you were somebody else. But now I know who you are.
Now you know who I am.
Weird. How you doing?
Famous.
Good?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you.
Is it a more favorable thing to do work the fair, or you rather be out patrolling?
Oh, man, I love it.
Yeah? A little sightseeing?
Good to see you, man. Take care.
When I first got there, before I could even get the camera rolling, this guy came over to investigate and try to figure out what I was doing. But as soon as he figured out who we were, fam, they squirmed and got the heck out of there. They did not want to be caught talking to the camera. Just inspecting. Squeaky clean in there, I like that.
dead bodies back there.
Randomly going anywhere.
You never know. Do you need me to take a picture for you? I feel like you're trying to get a selfie. I can take the picture for you.
Yeah. I gotta get a picture.
Grab his gun. No. I got you at least two there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta send this aside.
You doing the whole thing now?
Oh, I'm just out here taking some photographs in public.
Tom says he hates a Canal Fest. To have you here, it's an honor.
It always, because I could never get home. I could never get home.
Is this a more favorable job than out on patrol? Like being on patrol. What I'm saying, would you rather be out here chilling?
It's nice because you get to meet everybody, you know.
Yeah, it is a
I
way to
enjoy doing
meet
the car
community.
show. It's the only thing I do. Because I can't do any, I don't even like bike night. Isn't that terrible? But I enjoy this because I get to meet so many people and so many different cars. This is the best, I gotta say, this is the best time that I've been.
How many auxiliaries does Tonawanda have? How many auxiliaries does Tonawanda have?
He has not retired yet.
Hey, go ahead, listen. It's volunteers, so I don't know how many exactly.
Just retired police officers, pretty much, no? Anybody that wants
They
to.
can sign up and do it, and then what they'll do is they just do a background check on them, and then they'll
They'll allow
depending
no
on what they
felons
want to
in.
do, like, you know, they could do traffic, rehab for traffic, stuff like that. They come in handy for the ride from Roswell and stuff,
Yeah.
you know? But it's nice. I mean, we appreciate their help a lot of times, you know?
What rank are you? Just a patrolman?
19 years.
19 years, huh? You almost done, or
Next year.
next year, huh?
Yeah, it's good.
19
changed,
years.
but
That's, yeah, I bet you it changed a
the
lot.
The job is what you
19 years this guy's been there. He's a patrolman. He's never moved up. Now, granted, he's still making $97,000 a year, but for, I don't know, for New York, where they're at, is that a lot of money? I don't know. You know, could be pretty expensive there. I don't know. But 19 years, never moved up.
It definitely is what you make.
Captain, all right. I was wondering if you were auxiliary or if you were wearing the white shirt, you were the captain. All right. Nice.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Best night of the year, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's pretty nice out here.
Weather-wise, it's great.
How many auxiliaries you guys got?
We got about a dozen right now.
Dozen?
Yeah. We could use more. Are you
Use
interested?
more? I don't know what I'm allowed to right now.
Yeah, we got about a dozen. When I started, we had 25, 30. But now we're down to about a dozen.
25, 30. Oh, I'm thinking like 2030.
No,
25 or 30.
Yeah. But we're down to a dozen, and they're great guys, and they help us out a lot.
How long you been on the force?
40 years.
40 years, huh? You retiring soon, or you got more years left in you?
Retiring this fall.
This fall, huh?
Yeah.
Probably changed a lot in 40 years policing, huh?
Yeah. Yes, it has. But it's been very enjoyable. I love my career.
How many captains they got down there in Tonawanda?
City of Tonawanda, we have 2.
2 captains?
Yeah. We're a 30-man department. We have 2 captains.
Nice.
One for patrol and detective captain.
Gotcha. All right, thanks a lot.
Yeah. Nice to see you.
Dan.
Dan, how you doing, Dan?
You guys got the job, huh?
Hey, I'm observing and recording.
Are you guys auxiliary or are you?
Wait a minute, what?
Are you guys auxiliary or officers? Auxiliary.
Yeah. So we do it
Nice.
free.
Volunteer, right? Serving the community.
Yep.
I like that.
Observe, report, and we make sure everything's okay. But it's good just for boots on the ground. Just to make sure.
How long you guys been auxiliary?
Well, I've been one for about 9 years now.
9 years?
And 2 months roughly for me.
2 months for you?
Right.
Well, thanks for serving the community.
It works out well. It's good to keep everybody safe, and we keep an eye on people. So it works out pretty well. You bet.
Sorry about that.
The BMW iX is electricity in its ultimate form. An elegant trailblazer that's equal parts power and...
Thank you.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
What are you, lieutenant?
I'm chief.
You're the chief. Oh, I seen the stars. I thought maybe the chief. I thought it said lieutenant there, but quick question.
I was lieutenant.
Well, at one time, huh? I thought that is that what it says on the the badge says lieutenant. But chief of police. Can I get your name?
Bob Kleins.
Bob Kleins. Can you tell me the 5 elements of the First Amendment?
5 elements of the First Amendment.
Yeah, the United States Constitution.
No, right now I could not.
Really?
Yeah.
As chief of police, you couldn't tell me the 5 elements of the First Amendment?
You asked me a question.
Let me.
Could he stop snacking on that gum long enough to talk to the public?
If I give you a hint, I'll give you the first 3.
Right off the top of my head.
Come on, you swore an oath to that, Chief. But let me give you the first 3. That's freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of the press. You don't know the last 2?
You said the freedom of... Say it again?
Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of the press. So the first 5
I gotta
elements.
be honest with you, brother. Right off the top of my head with the Constitution. Yeah, I did think of it.
How long have you been a police officer?
34 years.
34 years? So you swore that oath a long time ago and forgot that Constitution, huh?
Well, I don't remember the entire... How would I remember every single word of the...
Well, I mean, don't you think it's important if you swore an oath to that Constitution to be able to uphold it? You'd have to know it,
I
right?
think the most important thing, right, would be to protect people's rights, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
The right to assemble and the right to redress your grievances to your government are the other 2.
Right.
What about what about the
you
Third
gotta-
Amendment of the United States
You gotta be
Constitution?
able to apply that. You don't necessarily have to recite it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you'd have to know it
Right.
to be able to apply it, right?
Yeah, but if you've been living it for 34 years, you should be able to apply it without even thinking. Why would you have to think of it? Right? It's better if you can apply it without thinking than have to sit there and recite it to yourself.
All right. What's the third?
Is that correct?
What's the Third
Is that
Amendment?
correct?
Is it? I don't think that's correct. I think that's a little out there.
Because I've been applying it for 34 years. I don't have to recite it.
All right. What's the Third Amendment of the United States Constitution?
Yeah.
Can you believe this joker, dude? I can't believe this joker. I've been living it for 34 years, so I don't need to know it. Oh, God. How can you be living something and you don't know what it is you're living? How can you apply it, like Erie County said, when you don't know what it is that you're applying? You know what I mean? Like, you're just scratch the surface understanding of our rights is never going to be enough. It's not.
And I've been applying it for 34 years. Why do I have to recite it? It doesn't make any sense.
What do you guys think about that? You guys let me know what you think about the chief of police here that doesn't know it, but he can apply it.
Yeah. It just comes natural for me.
Natural, huh?
Yeah. Been doing it for 34 years. I don't have to recite it. It's just a natural thing for me.
I'm sure you know your way in and out of the Fourth Amendment, though, right?
Fourth Amendment as far as the search and seizures?
Correct. That's a good one to know. Be able to. Well, thanks a lot. Name's Dan.
Your name is Dan?
Dan, Erie County.
How are you, Dan?
Pretty good. But thanks, Ed. Let's see if Captain knows the first 5.
Good for you.
It's Dan Riverside.
Good. Yeah. Oh, okay. Must be a Bills fan.
See you later. I'll take it out.
Hey, Captain. Quick question.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna need you to redeem this for the department from the chief of police. Wasn't sure of it. Do you know the 5 elements of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution? Do you know all the 5 elements?
No.
So let
No?
me ask you this, though, Captain, because he was asking me the same thing. If you've been living it for 40 years of your career, would it just come natural to apply it? You don't have to recite it.
You could just do it naturally without knowing it?
We've been living it for our entire careers, so why do we have to recite it if we're living it?
Yeah, that's right.
The question is, how can you live it
Because we've been living
and perform it if you don't know it?
We've been applying it in our career for so many years.
Dude, nobody's buying this. Like, nobody. Nobody's buying that you've been living the First Amendment for your entire career, Home Slice. Like, and I mean, the Eric Estrada look, I don't know. I'm getting Chips flashbacks, guys. This is, some of the terrible screenwriting on Chips is some of the stuff that I'm hearing in this video. I can't believe the ignorance.
We've been living it.
You know what they call that? They call that qualified immunity. You don't have to know the law, do you? You don't know. You don't have to know the law when you got qualified immunity, huh?
Call it that.
We strive.
All right. I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you one last chance. One last chance, right? I'm gonna give you the first 3 of the First Amendment, and see if you can name off the last ones. So the First Amendment is freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of the press. Right? Do you know the other 2? No? That is the captain and the chief of police of the city of Tonawanda down here. You guys are the city of Tonawanda, right?
Yeah, city.
City of Tonawanda. I don't want to say the town of Tonawanda. The city of Tonawanda doesn't know the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, but they can enforce it. That's what they call qualified immunity, right? You guys don't need to know it because you qualify for immunity if you don't know the law. If they don't know the law, they can qualify for qualified immunity.
So you're just making something up, brother.
What do you mean? The answer I wanted you guys to know what you swore an oath to. I think that's legit. What do you guys think? Should the chief of police and the captain of a police department know the First Amendment? Or should they just be able to live it? That's the chief of police and the captain of the city of Tonawanda, New York down here doesn't know the First Amendment, but they can enforce it. Please in the comment section, please explain to me how that works, guys.
And you know what? And it's going to be no different at any other gathering this summer across America, right? So like when you guys are out there this summer and you're at these gatherings, these community gatherings, and you see these officers there, ask them. And I guarantee you the response is going to be no different at any gatherings across America. And we'll get to the reason why at the end of the video.
Chief, by the way, it's not my opinion that's going to count. It's the people when they see this that's going to count. The people you swore an oath to uphold that constitutional rights to, their opinion is going to matter, not mine so much. But it was nice talking to you.
Always good time.
So far, knock on wood so far.
Where's your spy thing?
Well, I have it.
Dang, guys. That's pretty crazy.
Why do people love Support Pets? It's America's most loved and trusted official ESA approval specialists, having helped 10.
Let's go ahead and ask some more officers, fam, who swore that oath to that First Amendment, if they even know it. How you guys doing? A question. United States Constitution, the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. Do you know the 5 elements?
Have a great day, sir.
They squirm when you ask them the law they have to enforce. That's weird. That's really strange. Don't worry, the chief of police didn't know it either.
$82,000 a year. for Barbie LEO. That's what that was.
Of the United States
Barbie LEO.
Constitution. The First Amendment. What are the 5 elements of the United States Constitution?
Oh my God, I just read it and I can't remember right now. Freedom of speech is that?
One.
Yes.
That's one.
The first 5 elements?
There's 5 elements of the First Amendment.
Now you put me on the spot because I cannot remember. I just did this constitutional training 2 weeks ago.
The chief didn't take the training, so don't feel bad. The chief of police didn't, and captain didn't either.
No, I did it, and
let me give you the last 2 because they're the toughest. The right to redress your grievances.
Yes.
And the right to assemble.
Right.
You said freedom of speech. There's 2 more. Come on.
The right to religion,
obviously. Yeah, that's the one. There's 1 more.
What's the question?
Are you a citizen? Or are you a police officer?
No, he's a citizen.
All right. This officer needs your help. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution, there's 5 elements of it. Do you know what they are?
To be honest, no.
No.
Oh, you freedom to record video and everything like that?
The press, the freedom of the press. All right. That's
So
not.
what are they?
You got more than the chief of police did.
You got the religion, you got the freedom of speech, you got the freedom of press.
Okay.
And that's it. The other ones are...
The right to assemble and the right to redress your grievances. So, for instance, when the people watch this and they're like, the chief doesn't know this, and they're gonna call him up and be like, Chief, how can you not know this? It's legal, and you guys can't retaliate because somebody called up and redressed their grievance because the chief didn't know his constitutional law. Isn't it important? We got to take more training on that.
He does. I mean, he is a good chief. I mean, we know that.
You know what I liked? The cop that the deputy caught down in Orlando doing 85 in a 40.
The one that took off on him? Yeah.
He got arrested.
He got his ass fired. Shook hand. I think he got shook hand.
Hey, can you take care of this for me? I need to get rid of it.
No, I cannot.
Just throw it in the back. It'll look great for him. All right. Thanks a lot, officer.
Nice talking to you. All right. You take care.
How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
You're part of the U.S. Army? You're sworn in?
Yes, sir.
You swore an oath to the United States Constitution, correct? Can you tell me the first 5 elements, or the 5 elements of the United States Constitution, First Amendment? The 5 elements of the United States Constitution, the First Amendment, there's 5 elements. I'm gonna give you a hint. I'm gonna give you the first 3. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of the press. There's 2 more. Do you know them elements?
Isn't that one of them? Freedom to
Let me point out something here real quick, guys. Somebody looks very suspicious in this video. Now, if you look behind this gentleman here in the army fatigues, you'll see a gentleman what looks like a black turtleneck underneath a white sweater or something, ball cap on, glasses, with only a mustache. Okay? Keep your eye on this guy. He looks very suspicious.
You're the recruiter, come on in here. I'm asking a serious question down here.
What's that?
First Amendment of the United States Constitution. You swore an oath to the Constitution, right? To be in the service? What are the 5 elements of the First Amendment?
Press, religion.
That's 1. Religion, 2. Speech.
Assemble.
Assembly.
Assembly covers protesting, right?
Correct. The last one is the right to redress your grievances to your government. Meaning the government can't retaliate if you call them up and tell them what a horrible job they're doing. Let me tell you what, sir. You just did better than the chief of police of the city of Tonawanda couldn't name not one of the 5. All right? But thank you for your service, and like I gotta say, you did better than them.
I'm trying.
But you know, you swear an oath to that Constitution. I'd like to think we know it.
Thank you for keeping us on our toes.
Keep it on the toes. I like that.
Absolutely.
But
We'll definitely defend it. That's really
But that's pretty good. I got to give you credit because you got 4 out of 5. I gave them the first 3, but you didn't hear me. But you got 4 out of 5, which is better than the chief of police. You know what the chief of police told me? He's been living and enforcing that so long, he doesn't need to remember it. He just enforces it.
He just lives it.
Yeah, he just lives it. What do you think about that? Do you think you can enforce or live something you don't know?
Listen, we're just out here doing what we do.
I know. I mean, like, obviously you're not here. You don't have the ability to arrest people and change somebody's life here in the United States. So I mean, I think it's a little more important for the chief to know it. Well, it just goes to show our recruiter down here knows it more than the chief of police.
We try our best.
Can I get your name?
I'm Clay.
Clay? My name's Dan.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Now, here's the quiz. The United States Constitution, you swore an oath to it, right? To join in the service, you swore an oath to the United States Constitution. The First Amendment of the United States Constitution, can you tell me the 5 elements of the First Amendment? No? If I give you, I'm gonna give you the first 3 and leave out the 2 hardest to give you a hint. So it's freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of the press. You have no idea the other 2?
I do not.
All right. The chief of police don't either, so don't feel bad. He enforces the law on the citizens. So, but this guy, give this guy a raise. He knew 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5?
I'm sure if we would have sat here long enough, he probably would have figured out that 5th one.
That's always tough. You're going back to high school and
yeah, I mean, are you going constitutional law or?
Yeah, United States Constitution, First Amendment, the unalienable rights, the one we're born with, they can't take away. But all right, thank you guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna stop it there. Just incredible.
Listen,
ignorance.
there's a good chance somebody's trying to hack.
Get out of this window. Incredible ignorance shown there. And the reason for that, guys, is due to our schooling system. Now, I brought up, this is a quote from Woodrow Wilson. He's doing a speech to the New York City High School Teachers Association on January 9th, 1909. And here he's talking about public schools and what they're trying to accomplish, all right? So he says, let us go back and distinguish between the 2 things that we want to do. For we want to do 2 things in modern society. We want one class of persons to have a liberal education. Now let me just stop and say that the word liberal, when it's used in conjunction with education, doesn't mean what people would automatically assume it to mean. All right, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean like Bill Clinton wrote a textbook and it's liberal education. That's not what it means. Okay, so let me continue. It goes, we want one class of persons to have a liberal education, and we want another class of persons, a very much larger class of necessity in every society, to forego the privileges of a liberal education and fit themselves to perform specific, difficult manual tasks. You cannot train them for both in the time that you have at your disposal. They must make a selection, and you must make a selection. I do not mean to say that in the manual training there must not be an element of liberal training. Neither am I hostile to the ideal that in the liberal education there should be an element of the manual training. But what I am intent upon is that we should not confuse ourselves with regard to what we are trying to make of the pupils under our instruction. We are either trying to make liberally educated persons out of them, or we are trying to make skillful servants of society along mechanical lines, or else we do not know what we are trying to do. And so basically, he's saying, look, we've only got time to really educate. The liberal education for thousands of years was the highest level of education, right? all the great minds were liberally educated. Back then is what they called it. So, you know, we only have time to school very few people to pretty much think for themselves. And then we want to school another part of society, a much larger class by necessity. We want to school them, but only so far as that, you know, they can do some specific manual tasks. And that's pretty much what we have now today. This is Woodrow Wilson, again, was given this speech around 1909, and right around the same time, we're going to go over here, we're going to talk about the General Education Board, who were the ones that were pushing for public schools, especially here in the South here, where they brought in what was known as circuit riders, as you can see there. And circuit riders were professors that were hired as chairs of education by state universities, but paid for by the General Education Board. And basically what their job was they would go to they'd put these professors in these different schools throughout the South, and the General Education Board paid them. The school that they worked at didn't pay them. The General Education Board did, which wasn't a government entity, right? So as a private entity, they paid for these professors to go there, you know, do their professor work at the school, but in their free time, they were to ride around to the local communities and espouse what a great ideal public schooling was, and how the local communities could raise the taxes in order to pay for, you know, public schooling, you know, fairness, blah, blah, blah. But they weren't paying to necessarily make it even for everybody. They were paying to be able to have the chance to shape, you know, what people think, right? Because a lot of people are indoctrinated, and they are indoctrinated through the public school system, you know. We get a history book, and we get all these books that are pre-approved by the Department of Education, and you know, this is why it's unwise to have the state educate people. You know what I mean? Like, when people are thinking about it, hopefully in the future, you know, they'll say, these are the people that are trying to oppress me, right? They're trying to take away my rights, they're trying to take away my gun rights, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. Why would I give them my child to educate? Because what are they putting in my child's head? If they want to take all this stuff from me, right, they want to tax me more and do all this other stuff, what are they telling my child? Is my child going to be calling in on me, you know, on the phone? Hey, I think my dad's hiding money, you know, taxes or something. He's got gold rims on his car. He's spray painted, you know, checkered or something. I don't know, whatever. So, yeah, definitely a big part of the reason that we get videos like the one that Dan shot today, or not shot today, but that we're watching today. Thanks, Dan, Ordinary County, for letting us use the video to, you know, to kind of highlight that, you know, because everybody assumes, hey, I went to high school and I read the Constitution, but this stuff doesn't stick, and again, it's not something that people are passionate about. So, I mean, it doesn't resonate with them, right? And like Dan was saying, how can you enforce something that you don't know? And that's also true. You know, it's living it. You know, you're not living it. I mean, you can't live something that you don't know. right? So, just terrible display of ignorance going on. And, you know, probably always will go on as long as people are allowing the state to educate their kids. You know, and not supplementing that education maybe when they get home from school, you know. So, something everybody's got to think about, you know. We want to make sure that we all got the correct information in order to make, you know, intelligent decisions. And a lot of times when it comes to government data, just can't trust it. So I definitely wouldn't trust the education of my child to people I can't trust to do their jobs correctly in the most mundane of aspects. So, alright guys, I'm gonna get out of here, rant over, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Alright, thanks.